Hey guys, Chris Eves here, personal trainer. It's a couple of days post City to Bay here in Adelaide. And how are you feeling? How are the legs? A bit sore in the quads, sore in the calves, maybe sore in the knees, the hips. Interested to see. Had a few people who I've known that have done the event, so they pulled up a little bit sore. One thing I noticed when I was running is running technique is quite a big issue for most people in general. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience. One, on why your muscles get so sore, two, how to fix it, and three, sort of why we run the way we run, because a lot of it comes back to running technique. First things first, why do your muscles get so sore? Well, there's two phases of muscle contraction. Well, there's actually three, but two main ones. There's concentric contraction, which is when your muscle fibers get shorter under load. So if you think about that muscle there getting shorter under load, the muscle fibers are actually getting shorter under load. That's a concentric muscle contraction. If you think about having a weight in this hand, if you're pushing back against that weight as it goes down, these muscle fibers are getting longer under load, and that's an eccentric contraction. There's also a static contraction, isometric, I think that one is, where your muscle fibers don't move but they're contracted because they're holding a weight. But what causes muscle soreness, or a lot of PTs call it DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, so that's muscle soreness 1 to 2 days after period of exertion. The most significant thing that causes muscle soreness is during the eccentric phase, or as your muscles are getting longer under load, as these muscle fibers are stretching out while they're under load or being pushed against. It also promotes muscle growth, but you want to balance between the level of discomfort that you feel a couple of days after an event to your workout activity, or the benefit that you're going to get, because that does stimulate muscle growth more so than the concentric phase. But really, you do want to obviously maintain some level of comfort. So why do your muscles get so sore when you're running? Well, something I noticed about a lot of people's running technique on Sunday is a lot of people take big strides and bound up and down, and particularly footy players. Like, I grew up playing rugby league. A lot of my running experience was on grass, and I was often in short bursts running as fast as I could. So it didn't matter about running technique really, as long as it was fast. When you're running 12 kilometres on a hard surface like the road, it's really important that you change your technique. And I'll just give you a quick demonstration. Now, I'm not sure how the audio will go here, so I might record my voice over it, but what I'm going to explain to you is why your muscles get sore. And if you think about particularly your quads, when you're running, if you take long strides and your foot's landing out in front of you, your body is compressing down on your quads. So these muscles here, at that point, your muscles are lengthening under load, and that is again what creates muscle soreness. So if you're taking big strides and landing on that foot, those muscle fibers are lengthening under load, and that's what causes the soreness. So the best way to correct that is to shorten your stride and think about trying to push off. And one way also is thinking about running in the tilt or leaning forward, and then have your foot land directly in front of you here rather than out in front and compress. You want your foot to land just here and be ready to push. So knees bent and you push. And you'll notice there, my hips don't change too much in height. You want your foot to land right under your hip and then push off. When you're striding out in front, you notice my hips are changing height quite a bit. And what that looks like in fast motion, I'll just speed the treadmill up. And I'll do it in fast motion. I'll show you poor running technique, and then I'll show you good running technique. Just wait for that to speed up. So firstly, poor running technique, and you will hear a significant difference in my feet on the treadmill as well. So that's long strides. You can hear the thump of the treadmill, see how far up my hips are going. So that's poor running technique, and you can see the height change. This is a much better running technique, shorter strides and faster strides. You see my hips don't move up and down quite as much. My foot's landing right beneath my hip. So that's a couple of things about running technique there. You can see when I was taking big strides, my hips are moving up and down, and that's pressing on my quads. Those muscle fibers are lengthening under load, and that's what's creating the soreness. When you take much shorter strides and you land with your foot beneath your hip, it's more of a pushing motion than a compression, extension. You're pushing off much more often. And one of the things that causes us to run like that is our running shoes. Most running shoes nowadays have about 1 inch of padding in the heel, which is great for shock absorption and that sort of thing, but it allows us to run with poor technique. Now, I'm not saying that you should run without shoes or that it's the fault of shoes, but it's important to be aware that a shoe is going to allow you to run with poor technique. You don't notice it till 2 days later. If you correct your running technique, even with whatever shoes you're wearing, although it's important that you do have the right shoe for your foot, if you correct your running technique, you reduce that soreness quite significantly. When you've got that 1 inch of padding and you're striding out, your heel hits the ground first. Now, because you've got that padding, it doesn't feel so bad. And one way I heard, or a very good analogy I heard of running with shoes that are allowing you to injure yourself, so to speak. If you imagine if someone was hitting you on the head with a stick. Now, if you didn't have a helmet on and they're hitting you on the head with a stick, you'd move your head out the way pretty quick so you minimise your pain, minimise your injury. If you're wearing a helmet and someone's hitting you on the head with a stick, you can bear it, a little bit annoying I guess, but you can certainly bear that for a little while, but you might make up the next morning or 2 mornings later with a sore neck because you've withstood that impact or injury. So there's a little bit of an explanation about why we can allow ourselves to run with poor techniques because of the padding in your shoes. So although it doesn't hurt at the time, really important to shorten your stride length and minimise the impact or injury or the wear and tear on your muscles and your joints and all that sort of thing. So shorten your stride. That's really one of the most major solutions to shin splints, ITB pain down the side of your leg, sore quads after, hip pain, plantar fasciitis. Just about everything can be certainly improved, minimised. And this is talking about root cause, not a treatment, or correcting the fault by shortening your stride and improving your running technique. So there you go. Hopefully your legs are not too sore. If they are, jump in the bath, put some Epsom salts in like that, or a bit of a massage or something like that should certainly help. But yeah, I hope you got some benefit out of that. If you like it, share it on your social media, and if you're interested in doing next year's running package with us as well, because we do talk a lot about running technique and also improving your time, then sign up to my mailing list and you'll be notified when we do the running package again. Most likely going to do it again next year because it was so much fun, and yeah, plenty got loads of benefit out of it this year. So that's all I've got for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you sometime outdoors real soon.